the thing is that I just realized that I was a little bit tired of doing commercial stuff or doing art for others.
Art for others, right?
And that they pay, yes, great, but that's still art for others.
Right. You didn't you're going right back to where we began. Use building your family's business. You're building other artists' business.
Exactly.
You're not building your own.
Exactly.
See, so, now it comes right back to this. Oh,
so as for now,
that will make you depressed all the time.
100%.
Wow, it makes sense.
It actually makes me depressed, really depressed. And I went back to therapy actually, and I'm not afraid to say so. And that's one of the things that everybody should understand. You shouldn't be afraid to say I need help.
You shouldn't be afraid to say I need help. That's a big thing.
Because
man.
I reached a point when I realized that everything what I was doing was for somebody else, and I wasn't happy, and it makes me happy. And also when COVID hit, so everything went down like down the
no
hole.
One calling, everyone's afraid to go out.
Yeah, like I wanted to go out, I wanted to shoot, and I wanted to do everything, and we just couldn't.
Right.
So and then I was so depressed that I have to go back to therapy, and I spent most of the time through COVID taking therapy. So it was amazing, and because I find out myself with new ideas, and with more greedy to create. Like I want to create more. I want to produce more. I want to do film, like 100%.
So you want to create films and things and visions that you already have in motion.
I have shot some short films before, and I studied a little bit before film, but now is full time.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Now it's full time. Now I'm how I said. Producing music videos and shooting music videos in the past made me collect equipment that I'm in the position that I'm able to shoot a short film tomorrow.
Oh, that's great.
I have the equipment to do it.
So can you explain to people, like say, I guess we're almost close to the end because we want to wrap this closely. What are things that you learned between collaborating with other people, and then what are the things that you learned by taking all the skills that you learned through collaboration and applying it to your own business and to your own art? Like, because there's things that you do for people. Because I remember these things that we done together. Hopefully, you wasn't depressed when you worked with me. We had a great time. Like,
no, we had a great time.
See, I gave him complete, not only create artist control.
The depression came later when I realized that everything what I was doing was for somebody else.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, nah.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I studied photography was because I wanted to create my art.
Your art, yeah, it's true. Capturing everything.
My art.
Yeah.
And it was sad realizing that I wasn't doing that. That I was one of the reasons that I think you and other artists called me to do their picture was because I was able to bring to life your idea.
But you did it in a way that no one really... I worked with different photographers before you. You did it totally different than anybody else I ever worked with. And ever, because you did it in a way artistically that made sense, but also it could be commercial, but it was so expressive and true. You didn't do crazy Photoshop. You didn't make you know, like,
actually I was
you could if you wanted
because
to.
I wasn't using Photoshop back in the days. I was just using Lightroom just to enhance
it. But you enhanced even the imperfections of the person, which is great because when I look at photos, and you could test someone how well they shoot photos is how they shoot black people. This guy, it's hard. He shoots black people really good. Like the lighting and everything, because it's really difficult because the shadows and stuff. And even white people, like even people that are not black, you know, it's great that compositionally wise, you didn't have, okay, I'm only good with these type of Like,
No.
you're really versatile. And
No, because I always listen to the client. Listen
yeah,
to the people.
and you know how to interpret it and see how they like to see it. But then how, even in the imperfections of things, you even create it in a way where it's like, that's me. I'm not gonna remove this. This is you. You know what I'm saying? Which is amazing, because the reflection of your art in creating the actual video or photos was also a reflection of my music. Was, you know, the music that we made, it was not just hip hop. It was like, I did EDM, I did rock, I did R&B, you know, did country. So it was like, you knew how to shoot the photo or the image in its actual place and not remove it. You really took out what, you know, special.
I think one of the reasons I was successful on creating images, it was because I was true of my vision. You know, I was see something and I was honest with myself. It is good for me.
Right.
It is good for me.
Right.
I wasn't most of the time. I didn't want to convince the client or you to like my job, but I wanted to create something that was good for me.
It's true. That's a good take back. You know what I'm saying? That's
something
great.
that I was sure that I like it, and this is it. Like,
that's awesome, man. That's incredible. So,
but also, of course, I was listening to the client. You know, like trying to interpret their ideas.
But it's their ideas. But who's gonna execute ideas?
I was going there, trying to interpret their ideas through my art.
Right.
Because that's
awesome,
that's key. Because I tried once to interpret 100% what the client wanted. Didn't work out.
Until you actually
until I actually tune it, and I said, no, I think this is better.
Right.
I use my art to improve it, and then it worked.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So you know, just actually summarize everything. You really internalize everybody's vision, and you add your vision to. You was almost a director before you even call yourself a director, because if you think about it, artistic director in the sense that you help this client with their vision, and the holes that they didn't fill, you fill it.
Yes.
And their blind spots, because they only see it one way, and you see it.
The other thing that helps me a lot creating those pictures, it wasn't just the artistic point of view, but also the technical point of view.
The technical, right? Because lighting and everything.
Lighting.
Right.
As a photographer,
yeah,
you're gonna understand me. Lighting is everything.
It is everything.
And you gotta understand where you are and what kind of light you have around and what you can do. Sometimes the client wants something, but you know that you cannot do that. And you have to convince the client that, oh, do you know what, this is going to be better for you. You have to explain it.
Explain it. So you have to kind of educate your client.
Exactly.
So
sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't. But then you have to learn how to use your tools to comply with the client, with what the client needs. So because we have a lot of tools, we have modifiers, we have like tons of equipment that we can use to make it right. But it was both, like the knowledge I have of lighting and also my artistic side.
That's amazing, man. Wow. And this is years of training.
Oh yes,
it's years of training. I'm still learning. Like, you broke down a video. Did you know in Canon 5D Mark II, you don't pass 640 ISO? You just don't do it, because you have to keep it in a standard native. I didn't know that. And I had this camera for over 7 years.
That's key.
I'm like, why my thing is noisy? And guess what? You fix it, boom, it looks cinematic. I'm like, okay, for real? Like, that's all I need to do? Learn your gear.
Yes.
Like, he does photos and videos. I do music. Like, there's so many tricks, and I'm going to get into that too. I want to teach a class, like, learn your gear. You know what is the most powerful instrument now that people have access to? Your iPhone.
Oh, yes.
Your iPhone, guys. So if you learn how to use that in the sense where you can create quality videos and audio, it's all now just using the program and magnifying it, making it tweak and stuff. So when you actually get the gear, the actual microphone separate from your phone, you could, you'll know, okay, the space between my voice and the microphone, I don't want to be too close. Then it's going to sound boomy. Let me be a little bit.
The space about this, right?
Yeah, do this. Yeah. Just about here. And then projection, dynamic dynamic projection and everything. It's the same thing as lighting in space. And
Yes.
so learn your gear. It doesn't really matter,
Learn your
but it
craft.
does help. It does help to have a good expensive gear.
Learn your craft.
But learn your crap.
Definitely.
Learn your craft, learn your crap. It's so true, man. So I guess share people what are some final thoughts that you have, like for those who's watching, who like what do you want them to get out of all this? Like from if you wrap this up, like what is something that they gotta know that if they remember one thing, what is something that you want them to take away with?
Well, first of all, that you have to believe in yourself. So and learn, like you said, learn your equipment, learn what your equipment is capable of, and use it right. But before that, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to create what you feel it is right for you and your client.
It's amazing. Yeah, you got to believe in yourself. It's that simple.
Yes.
Because sometimes we have these situations where we didn't think that we were good enough because we didn't have the certain equipment. But
that happens to me in the beginning.
Because
right? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm coming from an art school, not for a college, from an art school, and when I start shooting here, and I had only one camera and one lens, and I saw everybody else around with fancy equipment, expensive equipment.
Right.
7200 and 50 and L series Canon and the best glasses and everything, and I got intimidated.
Yeah,
like I got like, oh my god.
I understand, especially going to those big studios.
Yes.
You see the big console,
yes.
And I bring my laptop, my guitar, my little one channel interface, and then like,
I remember once.
Oh, that's my wife. Oh. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get you. I guess it can. Let me see. I got started over. Woo! Hopefully this got it, man. Hold on.
What happened?
My wife is going. Hello. Hey, we're wrapping a video right now. I'm literally just ending. I'm doing my last comments here and we're about to end it. It's 6:49. Give me about like 10 minutes. Yes. All right. Woo! I'm in trouble.
I hope you got it.
Oh, if you grab that. I mean, woof. So I guess closing remarks and everything like that. Yeah, man, like this is great because the reason why I have you here because I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure that everybody get to know like you were part of my success. You were definitely part of my success. You made me look good in places where I felt like because when people look for you and they want to know what you do.
Let me finish about my experience. Comparing myself with others,
right,
with more equipment.
Right.
So I think we were in, I don't remember. I think it was something that you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And all these guys with fancy equipment.
Right.
I remember one of them introducing himself with me. Oh, I study here and I got this and everything.
Yeah.
And back then I had a lot of experience shooting Mark Lambton's company. And if you're a photographer, you cannot use flash, and you have to use the available light in the venue. And it was so complicated. So I had the experience that I was able to shoot without flash. So I think it was one of your events, or I don't remember exactly. So this guy was introducing himself like, oh, I will study here and I'm doing that.
I think I remember. Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And then and it was like these photographers around me.
I think it was either SOBs.
I think it was SOB.
It was SOBs. SOBs.
And there were like 2 or 3 photographers around me, and I was with my humble camera, one lens, 50
millimeters.
50 millimeters. And I started like pictures of the event and look at them and without flash.
It's true.
And then when I was looking at my pictures, those guys look at me, look at my pictures, and they removed the flash.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Guess what happened to them?
Yeah, what happened?
They couldn't take a picture.
They couldn't take a picture. I remember that. Yo, that was crazy. That was an industry event. It was. I remember that performance. Actually, I have the video of that, I think. Oh my gosh! Like,
and I hate it because I learned, because I've been shooting in theaters and events.
Right.
In theater, you cannot use flash.
You can't use flash.
No.
Wow.
So and I learned that you have to work it out. You know, like you have to learn to use your equipment right. And then I realized it doesn't matter where you go to study. The experience, and if you know what you're doing,
You're right.
is key.
It is definitely key. Oh my gosh.
So and that was funny because they tried to and that happens to me like 2 times in another event as well.
Mm-hmm.
So and they couldn't get the same pictures that I did, so they decided to put the flashback.
Amateurs, like they want to compensate. Oh, we need to use flash. It's interesting.
No.
Flash. It creates like
actually in
it's not even
most
the
of the
hardest-
venues you cannot use flash.
right. It
Like-
bounces off and stuff. So, man.
And
That's amazing. I remember
especially
that.
in theaters, like
No.
no flash. And another event, there was this photographer as well that I went to this college and this is my background, my how do you call my career? My major is photography.
Mm-hmm. Humble time.
And he had really hard time because we had mirrors.
Mirrors, yeah.
Making the right exposure for the event. So I had experience, and I have to tell him, listen, you have to modify this and that, and he got the shot. And I'm not the guys who is gonna let the other guys, I let him to deal with that because I was like, they introduced themselves like, oh, I'm the professional.
Yeah, I'm this. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. But the other, I saw the other guy struggling, and I think it was a paid gig. For
It was a
him.
big gig too. This is why I love taking him, because I could go to an event for someone else or my event, and they have a paid photographer or videographer, and then days later I post. That's why I love to post first. And guess what? They contact us. They want to hire this bro.
And
they don't call the other people. They call him like, "Hey, can your photographer come over here? We have a photo shoot."
and then I have to teach him how to shoot that picture. You know.
Yep.
I have to, because I realized that he was really struggling.
He was struggling, man.
Nervous because he got paid for it. And I was like, don't worry, let's do this. Got it. And that happens to me in another photo shoot. That was for Shantae.
Oh, for Shantae. Oh, I remember that.
They got the back then they got the brand new Canon 5D Mark IV, and they have a photo shoot, a fashion shoot.
Right.
And the photographer didn't know how to use it. And then I wasn't the photographer at all. I wasn't supposed to be the photographer.
Yeah.
I ended up doing shooting the shoot.
Yeah.
It was for this singer you told me about that we were talking about in the Avi or what's her name? The skinny one that you told me that she's a photographer now as well. Debbie.
Yes.
We were shooting Debbie, and I wasn't supposed to be the photographer.
Wow.
And those pictures I took.
She still have that photo on
Yes.
Facebook. I think she. Yeah. Wow.
And I wasn't supposed to be the photographer, but I know my stuff. You know, I'm the guy who read the manual and research. And look for the best option to use the equipment the best way. So I wasn't the photographer. I just happened to be there.
No, it's funny.
And I ended up shooting the whole thing.
Yo, oh my gosh. And now Debbie, she's a photographer now. Shout out Debbie Williams, amazing singer, songwriter, theater, just amazing person. So definitely, again, thank you guys so much. Just call for a wrap up. Thank you for the time. We wanted to do something different for him, and the back is occupied, so wanted to do something light and cool. So stay tuned for more. Don't know who's gonna come next month. We never know, but thank you guys for tuning in. I'll post some snippets here and there, shared posts. Yeah, guys, and thank you for. Oh, I'm looking over here. I should be looking over there. Yeah, oh gosh, thank you guys for coming through. Yeah, this was an amazing experience, and thank you for coming down to Lynchburg, man.
Thanks for having me.
This is awesome, man. For real, like, This is like my brother. This is my brother
from another mother.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely keep a lookout for him, and I'll be posting these on the socials. And thank you for tuning in.